But if you do invocation to inhibit that kind of form, then that statue can possess some mystical energy. For instance, when you go to all this fetish shrine, whatever statue you see, what they pour, the libation and the blood and whatever on, doesn't possess any power. It is just the ark. The spirit itself does not live in the ark. So for instance, maybe Rebatano, and then they have a shrine for Rebatano. You go to the shrine, you might see so many stones with blood on it and many other concoctions there. That spirit of Rebatano does not live in those arks. It is in the river somewhere. So during libation or during invocation, that's when the spirit will come and possess these arks that you see in the shrine. So seeing some signs and then some acts and all that doesn't really say that a person is being manipulated by some mystical energy. It is only when the person is in the knowledge of what he's doing that he can invoke energy into that thing. For instance, you see people make mudras. There are so many mudras. So when you see them making the mudra, if the person have no knowledge of the mudra, it doesn't possess any power.
Nana, please, what is
but
mudras?
If the person is knowledgeable, he knows what he's doing, then the mudra will be able to manipulate some kind of mystical energy for something to happen. So a lot of musicians, they'll be wearing some rings, they don't know, and nothing is there. You see them making some signs just to get some crowd to follow them. They don't have any ability to do anything. But if all these signs really comes from a source where mystical energy operates, then this thing becomes very effective. So I would say that half knowledge is dangerous. People must not do things they don't know. You must understand something before you do. If not all the signs you do, we call them mudras. These mudras will not be able to generate any ability or any power if you don't have the ability to invoke the energy that comes along with those signs that people do on the stage. So if you ask me, this is what I would say.
Thank you, Nana Ayabuafu. Please stay on the line for us and let me come in studio and take the opinions of Uncle Ken and Chief Mumin before we continue. Uncle Ken.
Yes, good afternoon, Kwame.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
We miss you.
Did you really?
Oh, too much. So much.
Glad to be back.
Yes, good to be back.
I was caught up with some family matters last week, you know. And I am so overwhelmed. When your producer called me to tell me about this topic, you know, I got so excited because it's a realm I don't venture into. You know, so I got excited because I knew when he mentioned the people coming or the people who were going to contribute to the show, I knew that I was going to be schooled on certain perceptions that I have held for so long or the public holds, you know. So I'm glad to be here listening to them, you know, talk. And so far, I've picked up a few things and I have just realized that I've always thought differently of certain things without really knowing the subject matter.
Wow.
And that's what both all speakers have been saying. Yeah. You need to understand what you're talking about. If you don't understand, what are you saying? You know, so initially that's what I would say. I'm still imbibing the info.
So we should go around and come.
Yeah, so go come.
All right. Chief Moment.
Yes.
As a creative, I know you deal with all these symbols, you know, when your cast put on some clothes and all that, you know. Do those things have any spiritual connotations?
Well, I guess it all depends, you know, from where you're coming from and what you decide to see and what you see. You know, belief is very powerful.
Yeah.
For example, in African traditional religions, we upheld certain deities as very powerful. And so if you probably speak against them or if you did something to them, the belief was that you were going to be affected. You know? But, you know, foreigners came, invaded our shrines, took some of these gods, hung them in their museums for centuries, and nothing happened to them, right? That same idol, in quote, that's someone may have taken, if someone who believed in it did something to it, it would have had an effect, you know. So at the end of the day, it all comes down to belief and what you give agency to. I mean, as a Muslim, I approach spirituality from the Islamic, point of view of what spirituality is. I mean, the fundamental principle of Islam is the Shahada, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. I mean, that there's no other God but Allah. And so Islam, centralizes all power in a one omniscient and omniscient being, and omnipotent being. And that is the supreme power that supersedes everything in the universe, and everything else pales into comparison. In fact, one of the most fundamental crimes in Islam is to associate any other power, to the supreme God. So as a Muslim, we do not believe that anything else has power in this world apart from the supremacy of God. So, if there's a stone, if there's a symbol, those symbols do not represent anything or pales in comparison to the belief in the supremacy of God. So spirituality in Islam really is about cultivating, your nearness to the God and to follow his dictates, his moral codes. And it is the only way that you can go through a spiritual development, your taqwa, the way you manifest your belief in your everyday practice, in your relation to your neighbor, in the observance of prayer, and in your constant remembrance, because once you are in constant remembrance of that supreme being, then you do not even, conceive of other forces. So, for example, in the Islamic sect that I believe, the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, we don't even believe in the existence of witches. We don't believe in the existence of ghosts.
Okay.
So for me, it all comes down, even if I take myself from that faith point of view, it all comes down to belief systems, and that beliefs are powerful. If I believe in ghosts, I would see ghosts. If I believe in witches will manifest, themselves to me. But if I'm in a tangent or in a realm or in a path where I do not acknowledge the existence of these things, and I am cultivating my own relationship with what I believe to be the supreme, those things will have absolutely no power on us. And for me, the best example that I can give is through our own historic, circumstances. We had some of the greatest deities and powers in this world, but faced against the machine guns, those deities paled in comparison, right? So maybe these are completely different conversations, but my point is that at the end of the day, it's what you believe in that would exercise its agency on you.
As a creative, as an artist, do you deploy any spiritual means before you embark on your activity as a creative?
Kwame, be very careful about the way you're phrasing the question.
Oh, no, I think it's a legitimate question.
Wait. Because the word you use, spirituality, we've just been told that so many of what we think is not spiritual. So that's why I'm saying
very careful. Educated,
That's right.
Yeah.
So coming as a creative, from my point of view, as a Muslim, we are, asked to pray in everything that we do. In fact, one of the fundamental principles of Islam is there's a prayer for everything. There's a prayer for when you are waking up, when you are sleeping, even when you are going to the washroom. So prayer is a part of our lives. So as a Muslim who ascribes to the tenets of the faith, obviously in anything I do, I commit it to prayer. So even in my artistic endeavors, we have prayers, we have sacrifices that we make, and part of the sacrifices is to give alms to the poor. Part of the sacrifice is to even actually sacrifice, an animal, a ram, and give the meat to the poor. So there are a certain number of activities that one will practice. Maybe from another person's point of view, that's actually doing something spiritual. I mean, me sacrificing a ram and giving out the meat to the poor is almost like someone going to the shrine and also sacrifice. Maybe these principles oversee it, but as a Muslim, I go by the spiritual path that is shown me. That is prayer, zakat, worship, sacrifice, fasting, all of those things are the things that you do when you want to intercede in a different realm beyond, the physical realm, because we also believe that there's a spiritual and the physical. In fact, we believe that the body is just a vessel for the spiritual, and the body is supposed to be used by that spiritual being within you, to exercise the demands of God, to do the things that he asks us to do. So the body is a vessel, and we believe in life beyond this world, life in the hereafter. That's why you know that life is also a transition. So maybe these concepts transcends, across different religions and different spiritual practices, but at the end of the day, it boils down to the context in which it's understood. So yes, I pray for everything that I do, and I pray for the success of everything that I do. And one of the things that you are taught in Islam is that whatever the result or whatever the consequences, you give thanks to God. Whether this is what you prayed for or this is what you prayed for, we always say Allah knows best. So whatever happens, alhamdulillah, you give thanks to God and you move on.
Thank you. Uncle Ken, you were once an artist manager.
Yeah.
Did you, in any point in time, on behalf of the artist or on your own behalf, do anything? Did you seek any spiritual help for them to help project their craft or their career
Kwame,
at any point in time?
If you listen to me carefully, when I started speaking, I told you this is a realm I do not venture into. That's exactly what I told you. But I've heard people, a lot of people, even the artists themselves, they would say things like, "Oh, I said me kuhu me sofo na obompai mami," which I don't find anything wrong with if you're going to see your sofo for prayers. Like Chief just said, he's a Muslim.
Yeah.
And in venturing into any thing, he seeks the help of Allah. Isn't that what you said? Yes. So I don't have a problem with anybody doing that. Much as I personally would look at your ability to achieve what you want to do as being what is needed, I don't mind people doing it. Look, when I was on the classification board many years ago, for instance, there were lots of movies coming out of Kumaut that had this sort of theme. Somebody is not able to have a baby, somebody is looking for a visa to travel, somebody is, so many situations. And most of the movies portrayed the solution to such things as going to seek help. Not only from Christian or Muslim heads of religion, but also the traditionalists. You get a lot of them saying, you go to a shrine with one man holding a whisk, chanting and doing this, asking for things to be brought to him. But like we have just said here, if they believe in that, that is for them to believe, because the Constitution allows for, diverse freedom of worship.
Sure.
And the Constitution actually talks about 3 particular forms of worship: the traditionalists, the Christians, and the Muslims. And the Constitution also gives them the power to manifest whatever faith they believe in. So if you see one of Philip Nye's Nume in Labadi with a white sheet around his waist and a whisker, that's what he believes in. And I think that because this is what our Constitution demands of us, to tolerate everybody's thing, I don't have a problem with it. If musicians want to use it to help in their craft, if actors or actresses want to go and see their, faith heads to help them, I don't have a problem. What I would have a problem with, and I don't know, and I need education from the revered gentleman here, is whether it becomes effective for people to go and see these heads to destroy others. That to me would cause a lot of problems for me, because I do believe that all these faiths are in for the good of humanity and they are not there to destroy. So when I hear people, or I see in films, then I get a bit of a problem, and that's the education I need.
Okay, still here, Joy 99.7 FM, Showbiz A to Z, and we're talking about the role of spirituality in arts. I have in the studio Reverend Abraham Lamptey, and I also have Nana Edubuafo Jr., I have Nana Ayabuafo Jinana as well, and I have my usual pundits, Ken Adi, Chief Moomin, right here in the studio. But to come to Uncle Ken's question, I have two questions on that. Let me start with the first one before I come to your question. So I want to know if an artist or a creative can gain commercial success by using spiritual means. And then after that, we talk about if they can use the same means to destroy somebody else's work in the industry. Let me come to you, Reverend Lamptey.
Yes,
is it possible? Is it possible? The first part. the first part. Is it possible for a creative to blow, like we say, using spiritual means?
Now, let me start from my Christian point of view.
Okay.
God will not take you where you will be disgraced. So it doesn't matter how you fast and pray to excel in what you do. If you don't master the art, you don't master the craft, God will never bring you the crowd.
Wow.
Thank you.
So if the song is not good, it
You
can't
don't
blow?
have the skill.
Okay.
You don't have the professional capacity. You can fast for 360 plus years. You will still not excel.
In fact,
I'm telling you, see, God does not support failure. He lifts you out of failure because you are willing to be lifted out. 2, God will not push you to kill somebody to take the person's place. One thing, spirituality that we're talking about, you can see that gradually it looks like we are veering off the topic because of our brother or elder brother,
Nana
the
Ayabuafo.
direction he took from the Zoom. But I want us to come back to something here.
Okay.
What do you consult the deity for? What do you consult God for? First, because everybody has a reason for going where he or she is going. Everybody has a reason for doing what he or she is doing. So the question is, are you going where you will be told the truth? Or you going where you will be placed above even if you don't qualify? Then your God must help you know whether you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing. The God I serve, who is the supreme, will definitely not place you above somebody who qualifies. But because you are, let me say this, God will not place you where you don't deserve. Whether the Buddhists deserve it, but because you are a Christian, he will put you there. Can I repeat this?
I like that.
The fact that you are a Christian does not mean you deserve that chair, though you don't know the skills thereof. So yes, John chapter 4 will tell you God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. So don't let us take that thing out.
Okay.
Are you true to yourself that the position you're looking for, you deserve it? 2, God does not support a desire for show off. You want to show off? He wouldn't put you there. So when we're talking about spirituality in the arts, it's some people think they are getting results by where they went, but they don't know that for following the instructions given them, they are disciplined in the art, but no spirit behind it.
Oh, wow.
You see, you respect the instructions from where you went, but you don't respect the rules governing your art. So when you are given the instructions from there, wake up in the morning, do this. Wake up in the afternoon, do this. Wake up in the evening, do this. At this very time, do. So your discipline also puts you in track to perfect your art.
Wow.
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
Am I making sense?
You
here?
are making a
Too
lot
much
of sense.
Too much.
Because there are many places you go and there is nothing behind it. But because it has the name, you will obey the rules. You come to me for a problem, I will ask you questions. And I'll give you the Bible to go read the scriptures that goes along with the questions you are asking. I will introduce you to the God I serve. I will tell you what Jesus says. I will tell you what the Bible says. Go by that. Perfect. I was talking to a young guy who came to me recently who wants to outpace his boss.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I told him, young man, okay, I cannot do it. Not that I will. I can't do it. One, because whatever you will do, it is the chair your boss is sitting on that you are dedicating to that spirit.
Okay.
Not the personality. So the person will be dismissed. But when you go sit on that chair, it is the chair you have introduced to sack everyone that sits on it. Prepare for your dismissal.
Yeah.
Just matter of time.
Kwame, I beg.
Okay.
A reverend keeps saying, the God I serve.
Yes.
I want to know if all the other faiths have a different God.
Well, and I said Jesus Christ.
Because you see,
Thank
when you
you,
say,
sir.
the God I serve,
Uncle Ken, yeah.
then I tend to think that everybody else has a God that they serve.
Well,
but if he
didn't say spirituality. He said spiritualities.
if, for instance, you say, the God we serve, whether Christian, traditionalist, or Muslim, then I can see.
Uncle Ken, I'm not interrupting you. I'm not cutting you.
No,
but
you have to. You have to.
I want to say this. You see, if I say the God I serve, definitely you need to then look at me. Listen to what I say. If it is in tangent with what you also do, then the God we serve. I can't impose my God
on
you.
anybody else.
Okay, that's
So
great.
That's
follow
fine.
what I do. If it is in tangent with what you do,
okay.
then Uncle Ken,
Okay.
welcome aboard.
I get
All
the
right.
God
point.
we serve.
I get the point.
Okay.
You get it?
So we acknowledge that everybody has their beliefs.
Yes, it makes
From
sense.
here to Kaneshie,
Yes.
you
It
can
makes
use
sense.
Achimota.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can use Aveno.
Yes.
You can use Circle.
Yeah.
But we'll all arrive at Kaneshie.
So
I
we just
knew I'll enjoy this
yes,
conversation.
you
today.
will. We are not done. So we are taking their perspectives from their various
Yes.
belief systems. And so let me come to Nana Edu Boafu Jr. and ask the same twofold question. So Nana, is it possible for you in particular to help somebody gain success commercially with their work of art or in the traditional realm? Is it possible in a spiritual realm?
That's me.
Is it possible?
From the Lord.
That's right.
I'm just a human being, a poor
Great.
man, just a messenger. I'm just a devotee to the Spirit. And me personally, my prayer is, may the will of God and the gods be done in my life. When you come to me with any problem, after consultation and maybe few rituals, the powers or the solution is not coming from me.
Okay.
I'm human as you.
Okay.
It's coming from the Spirit.
Okay.
So you don't use me. You use the Spirit. That's why when you use God as
Okay.
a Christian. And our uncle asked a question, and I want to answer that one too. In the Christian circle, where my elder brother is coming from, they have only one God.
Okay.
In our circle, the traditional system, we have plenty gods.
I see.
We even have plenty goddesses. And we have gods that are petty traders. Anything you do with them will not last. It's petty. And we have gods that are merchant long-term traders. So when you go to the merchant side, you can do forget and marry some.
Please, education. Who are the petty traders? Let's break it down. We want to know. Break it down further. We will get there.
Okay.
Yes, petty
Okay.
traders.
I don't want to mention the gods and
Don't mention the
accounts
names,
so that
okay.
we will not offend anyone.
No.
But when you curse anyone in account, we say diabo.
Okay.
Ubo bi dia. That's short time. None of fashion and now say no go feel. They are all petty. Ebia ukoye drobi. Me de obi moja na ekoye, obi ti na ekoye, obi shebe na ekoye. It will not last because the merchant long-term spirit, they don't do bad stuff. They are farmers. Some are musicians, some are prophets and preachers and the rest in their spiritual realm. And
Don't say anything.
Okay.
oh yeah,
Don't say anything.
yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah. So
Very
that
interesting.
sometimes you are
Very
surprised, eh?
interesting.
So sometimes
Lots of
when
questions.
the pastors are preaching that the gods, they have eyes, they can't see, they have ears, they can't hear, they can't walk. Yeah, but be there. Yeah, then I'm going to channel. You see, but our gods are plenty.
Okay.
They are not one, and mode of engaging them, invoking them, or working with them are also different.
Okay.
And we have colors and grouping. We have traditionalists who Where's the white calico, traditional lace with the black color, traditional.
This is another type.
About 4.
With
You
the
know,
red,
my brother said he's a Muslim. Even at the Zongo, they don't have one mosque. They have the Hamdia people. They have different.
Okay.
And they are one set there like that. So we also have different gods, different means of invoking and calling them or working with them.
Great.
They are all not the same.
Great.
And some of the gods, when you fail them, they also fail you. It is not free like my brother's God. That one doesn't punish anybody.
So you know that.
Oh yeah, I know that.
You're welcome.
That's why they can sin and they can offend people, and they will not apologize or solve it. They will tell you,
Grace.
our own don't offend easily like
Okay,
that.
now let's go to the crux of the matter now. So can somebody, quote unquote, blow an artist? Can an artist blow
Yes,
through any spiritual means?
yes.
Even if the song or the work is in a bad state?
I
it's
don't
not-
want to mention songs and artist name because I
Please don't
respect
mention.
everyone. I don't want to disrespect anyone here.
Don't mention,
But you
please.
see, spirituality is for everything. And everything that we practice around us is also spirituality. When my brother was speaking, my brother, your name again?
Moomin.
Moomin.
Chief Moment.
Okay.
Moment.
Okay. When my brother was speaking, he said they don't believe in witchcraft and any other thing except Allah. Lawa Kubado. May the name of Allah be praised all the time. I don't have problem. But I want to also educate my fellow poet brother that he needs to believe in everything, to learn everything, not necessarily to practice everything. At least you need to have a fair idea. I have more idea about Islam, Qurans, and the other religious people. But you said it's not spiritual and you don't believe in certain things. But I wish I can even ask him why they have half moon and the star on top of all the mosques. But I have a lot
crescent.
of Muslim friends, so I don't want to.
But I
go
don't
there.
want us to do the banter.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
why I'm covering that
religious
side.
banter there. Yeah, I just want to stick to
because
the-
you said two things, and later on you also said they also slaughter animals.
Yeah, that's them. So let's not go into how. They,
So,
let's
okay.
stick to.
But the way he
Yeah.
said the whole
Don't
thing
worry.
to us, you know.
Nana, don't
Okay,
worry.
so, Mate.
So
So
still on.
you can do things
Yeah.
spiritually in your craft as a musician or as an actor or actress to excel or to get business contacts, to get sponsorship deals, and also to travel. It's possible. It works for people. Kwame, if I waste money, record a song, play for me, and you are telling me I should go and see Philip, I should go and see this one, and you know seeing Philip is money. Philip, you love money. Then two of you, you have to be in a bottle so that you can play my music for the music to hit.
You have to beware.
Oh, massa.
We have to beware. You said something to be in a bottle.
If you are not doing if you are blocking the shine, yes. So people can
you play
do
by
things.
force.
Oh, by force. So people can excel and be successful. You see, in the most of the Ghanaian movies, you see a fetish priest, you see a pastor, and there will be an encounter.
That's
Then the fetish priest will fall down. It's not true. Pastor, don't say anything, sir.
Ebi asin tim nim say no. Yeah.
Oh, movie, no.
Me.
Nana,
Yeah.
Nana,
Yeah.
please continue.
Okay,
Nana.
so
It's interesting.
No, you see,
Yeah.
you see, sometimes, Nana, like you said, you should know a little about everything.
yeah.
So when you sound emphatic, then it means you know it.
Yeah.
But I can also tell you on authority that whatever you see in the movies happens in the realities. That fetish have fallen and things have happened. But then I want us to stay on track. Is it possible for an artist?
Exactly.
I've answered
To
him.
engage.
It's very possible.
Yeah, so
and there
Nana-
are so many ways they can do it to make it possible.
Okay, Nana. So when they come to you for such help, what do you take them through?
Oh,
What's the process?
I can't say it on this big platform.
But is it
You are
possible?
seeing JFM to be small. This is my BBC.
Is it possible?
No, you are seeing JFM to be a small
Yes,
media.
yes,
We are
it's,
talking.
it's our BBC. Don't worry. Is it
Yeah.
possible? Is it possible for somebody to use spiritual means to destroy the creative work of another person?
The answer is yes. You are a journalist. I know what you are looking for. You want me to give you full details about these procedures. the process we use and things and mention animals and stuff, the answer is yes, Kwame. Let's keep the yes like that. Our Muslim brother will continue and advise us.
Join 99.7 FM Showbiz A to Z.
Yeah.
Do you believe
Also, we speak outside.
do you believe that spirituality has a role in the arts? 055-11-11997. We have in the studio Reverend Abraham Lamte. We have Nana Eduwafu Jr. And we also have on Zoom Nana Ayabuafu Janana. Let me go to Nana Ayabuafu now and speak to him. Nana Ayabuafu. Hello? Nana Ayabuafu.
Yes, sir.
Yes. I know you are there. So we've been trying to get answers to these questions, whether it's possible for somebody to gain commercial success through spiritual means, as in, if I want my song to blow, and even if the song is not that good, can it still blow? Can it still gain that success?
Yeah, thank you, sir. I would say that impossibility is only in the dictionary of the ignorant. If anybody says something is impossible, it means the person is not in knowledge. So the answer is yes, it is possible that somebody, an artist, can influence his art. He can manipulate his own art to get commercial value. It is something that happens every day. And when I was listening to all the panel members, it seems there are many things that are mixed up together. From my Muslim friend, he made some very, very tangible and critical points, as the only power is God, which is accepted in any sense. But it doesn't mean that there is no power apart from God's power. God's power is the most powerful, but apart from that, there are powers. And he even gave an example of the whites coming down here and going to our shrines and stealing the gods and all that. And nothing happened to them. The truth of the matter is, what you see at the shrine is not the god. It is just the ark. It is the ark, and there is no power in that ark. So what the white people stole from us were not the gods, but the ark. The gods do not live in those arks. They live in their own abode. They only come to perform when they are invoked. Okay? So there are Africans who can even go to the shrine and go and mess up, and nothing will happen to them until when the high priest goes there and they try to do incantation before the person will get some reaction. For instance, in Ghana, the most powerful person is our president, Nana Addo. If you say everybody should sleep today, we all sleep. But it doesn't mean that apart from the power of Nana Addo, the MCEs and DCEs and assemblymen don't have power. Their power is superseded by the president power, but it doesn't mean they don't have power. The police commander can cause your arrest today, even though his power is not as powerful as that of the president. What I'm trying to say is that we have 333 million demigods. 33 million principal demigods. And all these demigods are assigned for special services. Likewise, we have millions and millions of demons who are also in charge of doing many terrible things. So yes, God is very powerful. His power is the most powerful, is the highest. But apart from those powers, there are other powers that can affect you. It doesn't matter whether you believe in it or not. You see, I like the chief. I don't know his name. He is a mystic and he understands what he's talking about. He's not being speculative. He knows the art. The truth of the matter is that you don't have to believe in the power for you to receive a punishment or reward. Maybe there are so many fake things around, so I understand. But any real source of power, you cannot misbehave and go scot-free. You will be punished. So yes, the answer to your question is, people can get assistance from mystical things to facilitate their own art. It happens every day. There are things that people don't pay attention. If you are a farmer and you want to plant a specific, say, crop. You might go and do it because you're a farmer, and maybe that year the rains might not come. You will lose. But if you're a very smart farmer, you have to approach somebody who can study the weather and tells you, from this time to this time, the rains will come. From this time to that time, there might not be rains. So based on that kind of counseling, you can go ahead and do your planting. So most of these artists, they are very talented. You listen to their songs and it makes so much sense. And you sit back and ask, why is this guy not making airwaves? There are many people like that. And there are some few artists, they just say 2-3 words. It doesn't really make sense. Even the beat is not nice, but it's everywhere. And you think that all this thing happened by chance? The truth of the matter is, you must try to understand life. Life is not what is just written in the Quran or the Bible or the Bhagavad Gita or any other scripture. You must try to learn and ask questions. So yes, it is a fact. My brother, as I'm speaking with you, let me use you as an example. Haven't you ever gone to town, buy something from the market, and then you get home and it's like, why did I even buy this in the first place? Please, a question, I don't know if you can answer me.
Now we are listening.
But I'm asking, it's a question. I mean, we are learning. So others can pay attention and listen to what I'm saying. Haven't you ever gone to the market, buy something maybe on the way, and then you get to the house like, why did I even buy this in the first place? What I'm trying to say is, there are things that manipulate us to do things even when we are not willing to. Yes, God is the most powerful being. His power supersedes all powers. But there are powers God allows them to operate. They are here. And we must learn. You know, in the Quran, there are many, many instances where God speaks against Satan. Okay? We call it Satan in the Quran. And are we saying that the Quran doesn't portray Satan that he possesses some powers? There are some demons and some principalities that operate under Satan. Yes, God's power supersedes that of Satan, but Satan possesses some power. So if you misbehave, somebody can kill you. Somebody can kill your career. If you are saying you are not a pure person, you are not a pure devotee, you are not worshiping God the way you're supposed to. You are worshiping God somehow or the other. It's not anything serious. Somebody can use juju, can use voodoo power, can use any mystical means to harm you. Likewise, people can use mystical energy to project themselves out there. There are many, many tracks that we hear. You listen to it. It doesn't make sense. Nothing special about it, but it is everywhere. And people sing very wonderful.
Could it not be that they have done their promotional work so well that the song is blowing?
Yeah, you see, the whole point is that we have to look at the both sides of the coin. Okay? It is not every hard work that produces good results. I hope you understand that. There are people who are very hardworking, very, very hardworking, but they don't have anything. And there are some people, they do something little and they are gone. We must understand, the implication in some of these things. People are very hardworking people, work hard and sweat from morning to evening, and nothing happens. And somebody just plans something little, and everything is going on well. So yes, you need to put in some effort. That is there. When it comes to mysticism, there are two things: grace and effort. You first need to put in some effort, but your effort alone is not enough. You must get a grace. And that grace might come from God Almighty if you're worshiping God, or it might come from some angel or some demigod or some deity, based on where you seek your help from. So yes, effort is important. You are a musician, go out there, promote your track. But there are some of the musicians, they will spend so much money on promotion, but nothing happens. Some of them, even their music, it is only on social media. They will not go to any radio station. They will just come and release on social media, and after some short time, it is everywhere. What I'm trying to say is that yes, effort is very important when it comes to art, but you must seek for mercy or grace. And that mercy can be seek from the Almighty God. It can be seek from the demigods. It can be seek from the archangels. It can be seek from the angels, the apsaras, the gandharvas, and all the other millions of spirits around us. Depending on where you think that you can get your help from. So me, with the work I do, I really do understand. And I know there are people that are able to facilitate themselves during the act because their source of energy is very potent and they blow. And there are people who don't do anything, or people who try so much, sitting down and they're very creative, they do wonderful things, but they don't go anywhere because even though the effort is there, but the grace is not there. So I will advise that whatever you are doing, you must seek for counseling. It is very, very important. When you are going outside in the morning and someone tells you, it might rain, if you're a very intelligent person, you just take an umbrella with you. In case it doesn't rain, you're okay. If it rains, you'll be able to safeguard yourself. So whatever you're doing, you're an artist. You must try to get a counselor, a life coach, somebody who will guide you. At times, let me tell you one thing. Last year, 2022, that year was number 6 according to Mestism, according to numerology. And last year will be ruled by women. So I remember I went to Adom FM. So after the interview, I spoke to the host, off air. So he told me he's having an artist and the artist want to come out with a track like this. I asked, is the artist a female? Say yes. I said, this year, 2022, is a year for women. But if she wants to release any track, it should be after the 14th of April. In fact, this was in January. The artist was ready to release a track. So I told him, if you listen to my advice, tell her you shouldn't release a track. She should wait after the 14th of April. And she did that, and within 2 weeks, it was everywhere. So this guy called me and said, hey, Jana, I said, I'm telling you, these are signs. You must understand them. Okay? So what I'm trying to say here is that there are ways and means people can manipulate their art for their own good. You can choose to believe it or not, but this thing works. And I tell you, it works. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Nana Ayabuafo Janana there, a spiritual analyst. Thank you so much. We're still here talking about the place or the role of spirituality in arts. And I have Nana Ayabuafo Janana, I have Nana Edubuafo Jr., and then we also have in the studio Reverend Abraham Lamptey. As usual, Uncle Ken is here, Chief Mumin is also here. We'll be going for a breather, but before we do that, let me ask this question. And I think my guests will be thinking about this as we go for a break. I want to know if a third party, somebody else who is not involved in any spirituality, is watching a movie or listening to a piece of music or just seeing a piece of artwork that has spiritual connotations, do they get affected by just watching them? They are not the people who went in to create them or to use them in the movie. They're just watching. I'm just watching the movie at home, and I've seen some signs in there. Do I get affected by watching those movies, or do I get affected by listening to a song that has chants that portray or that have connotations spiritually? We'll be coming back to talk about this particular one. Joy 99.7 FM, Showbiz A to Z.
We've told their stories. It's now time to celebrate and honor their selflessness. It's a moment of recognition and giving these personalities the platform to expand their impact and promote development. They are the finalists of the Joy News Impact Makers Awards. Who among our extraordinary 10 nominees will earn the envious title of the Joy News Impact Maker of the Year? Isaac Ajaoto, Richard Oko, Ellen White or Jefferson Agbotro, Amadou Mohammed, Ilyas Ubaba, Isaka Anesi or Joy Okra. There are also Father Moses Awenonja and John Akaribo. Make a date with us on the 23rd of June 2023, live on your most authoritative and credible news portal, the Joy News Channel, for the live telecast and celebration of the Impact Makers of the Year. The Joy News Impact Makers Awards, celebrating ordinary people doing extraordinary things in their communities.
Joy News Impact Makers Awards is sponsored by KGL Foundation, empowering lives, changing communities, and Gold Key Properties, building prestige since 1997.
Baby Jet Under 16 has landed and it's massive. 32 academy teams from Africa compete to gain recognition as the best of the best. Happening live at the Cape Coast Stadium from the 6th of June to the 13th of June. Live on your World of Champions Super Sport. Sponsored by KGL Foundation, Ghana Gas, Lyco General, Permafix Industries, Harry and Linda Foundation, Ashphone, Don Simon, and partnered by GFA, PFAG, and Ghana Tourism Authority, Gold Star Consult, Paradise Water, and Champion Foods. Supported by the Asamoah Gyan Foundation.
Gripping conversations, business opportunities, and inspiring life stories in the engine room. We have it all. Tune in to Springboard, your virtual university with Reverend Albert Okran, this Sunday at 7 p.m. on Joy 99.7 FM, Facebook, and YouTube. Catch the repeat telecast on Joy Prime every Saturday at 9 a.m. Sponsors: Enterprise Group, MTN Pulse, UMB Bank, and Central University. Media partners: Joy FM, Joy Prime, and Graphic Business. Springboard. Your personal value will shoot up.
Here's where we turn around. Here's where we turn around.
Classical Lovers Show is a weekly compilation of the world's greatest compositions from the 17th to the 20th century. A unique combination of concertos, symphonies, orchestra, and nature sounds from the legendary composers in the classical repertoire. Join Jeffrey each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. till midnight for the very best of classical music by the legendary composers right here on Joy 99.7 FM.
Joy 99.7 FM. And we're still here on Showbiz A to Z talking about the role of spirituality in arts this afternoon. And I have with me Reverend Abraham Lamte. He's the General Overseer of the Believers House of Worship International. I also have Nana Ayabuafu Janana, a spiritual analyst. And then we have in the studio Nana Edubuafu Jr., a traditionalist. He's been doing this for the past 20 years. Also a writer and a spoken word artist, yeah. So what do you believe in? Do you also think that spirituality has a role in the arts? Send us a text right now on 055 1111997. Tomorrow is Sunday. And for we the Christians, it's a day for us to congregate and worship the Lord. Sometimes maybe because of some sickness or some engagement assignments, you're unable to go to church. But don't worry, if you're unable to go to church on Sundays, we have for you the Pentecost Hour. It's a religious broadcast program sponsored by the Church of Pentecost, and it comes your way with the chairman of the Church of Pentecost, Apostle Eric Nyamiche, on Joy 99.7 FM every Sunday at 1:30 p.m. So please tune in tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. as Apostle Nyamiche brings you life transforming truth that nourishes the soul, ignites passion, and restores hope in the nations. The Church of Pentecost, we are possessing the nations for the Lord. Now, every day, hundreds of Ghanaians need blood to survive due to road accidents, women with severe bleeding from complications of childbirth, or children with severe anemic conditions. They depend on the generosity of blood donors like you and I. In emergencies where blood is required and not available, waiting means death. On occasion of the World Donor Day, which is on Wednesday, 14th June 2023, please become a voluntary blood donor and help save our mothers and children. Now, 30 minutes of your time will put a smile on the faces of someone or people for the rest of their lives. And so visit the nearest teaching or regional hospital today and then give a unit of blood to support our blood bank. Kindly call or text 0277 501010 or 0244561782 for more information. Now, this message is a public call from the National Blood Service in partnership with Joy FM, Hits FM, Adom FM, Adom TV, World Health Organization, and the Ministry of Health. Joy 99.7 FM. We're still here talking about the role of spirituality in the arts. And let me come again and let's try to answer the question that I asked before we went on the break. So I was asking if someone can spiritually be possessed by listening to a particular song or maybe watching a movie that has a particular spiritual connotations. Maybe you've watched the movie, it has some signs and symbols and all that. You've listened to a song, has some chants which have spiritual meanings or angles to them. Do you get affected as the person who is watching or listening to this song, Reverend?
Yes, you can be.
You can be?
Yes. The Bible says faith cometh by hearing. Faith cometh by hearing, and hearing the word of God. Now, when you keep hearing the word of God, your faith in God rises. Same way, when you keep hearing other things, your love for that thing will also rise. 2, it can also be channeled through one person. When I was born, when my brother Mumin was talking, I was quiet. I was born a Muslim, raised a Muslim. I went to Makaranta and everything.
Really?
Yes.
And you're not a pastor?
Yes.
Allah will not forgive you.
Okay, Allah may not, but Christ would have.
Okay.
You get my answer?
You are trying to convince me. I'm convinced.
Because, I was a Muslim and I was asked to lead a church in worship. God still worked through me. And they didn't stone me. So I was like, okay, if the God of these people wouldn't ask them to stone me, then I think that is where I find love. So, as I was saying, like the man asked you, have you bought something you didn't need and you still can't explain why you bought it? The same way you find yourself following a friend to a place you wouldn't have, but by the time you realize you were there, it happens. You see, life is a mystery, but it only benefits those who wants to understand the mysteries of life. So yes, something can be done for you to buy what you don't need, but you will still buy it.
So you can listen to a song you don't really want to listen to, but you listen.
If it is coming through your radio, put it off. Why keep listening? You see, sometimes we try to even relate spirituality to things that are not spiritual, but results of our weakness. Are you getting me? Sometimes we relate things that are not spiritual, but rather as a result of our weakness to those things, and we say it is spiritual. You will only be gotten through your weakness. I hope you are getting what I'm saying. If you have a weakness in always taking Hausa cocoa, definitely everywhere you see Hausa cocoa, you go for it. Do you call that cocoa seller having done something for you to go by? It is only when you come back and you are back to your senses and you're like, Many bote mini. You understand what I don't need this. So how come I got it? Then you should know that something arrested you, pulled you along, commanded you to buy it, and you bought it. Period.
So you can't be possessed if the thing has spiritual connotation.
That's the word.
You can?
Possessed. Yes. So you need to let me give you an example. Do you know why Americans are proud?
Please tell us.
Because they know that if you touch them, the whole nation is coming after you. If you know who your defense is, you know you are covered. Yes. If you know your defenses, you know you are covered. So you need to know where you belong. Like the God I serve. The God I serve. Mumin says something earlier on. Whatever happens, you give thanks to your God. Because if he does not allow, it wouldn't come through. Are you getting what I'm saying? So the God I serve, he says, you can never take anybody from the house unless you break the strong man. And the God I serve is too strong for you to break him. So I'm cool. Whatever I will buy in town, whatever I listen to, is my choice. You can't influence me with it. Different from what you fall for by your weakness. Because there are things, Charlie, even in our faith as Christians, we have levels.
Wow.
We have levels. You don't just get up being yesterday born and then you think you are there. You need to grow. I was preaching at a wedding and I told the guys that stop walking around claiming I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. You can imagine what goes on in your wife's head when around 10:30 p.m. you are coming for breastfeeding. Are you still a man?
You are a man and a
That's
baby.
a personal question to Philip, I guess. I know him very well.
No, ask yourself this question. Are you still the man?
You are a baby.
Thank you. So, circumstance determines the spirit that will rule you at a time.
Wow. Reverend Lamptey. there. Nana Dubuafu.
Yes, please.
So why do you always start with the spiritual people before you come to us, the commoners?
As for this one,
so you start with Pastor, go to Nana, then come to me before.
But you are a chief. Yes, you are also a chief.
I'm just kidding.
Yes.
Nana Dubuafu.
You are lucky, my brother. Please, Reverend said something. Very vital point.
Okay.
He asked a question. If you are going to your wife, are you still a man? I don't want you to be answering those kind of questions. Please, I brought you a gift. Come and take it so that you'll be a man for a longer time.
We will take it.
What type of man
we will take
are
it
you
after the
saying
show.
should be for a longer time? What type of man?
Please.
Because we have categories.
So for hallelujah.
Amen.
Please, our wives are listening. Don't do that.
Okay, I will collapse the market. Okay, then Philip is a good boy. Mrs. Philip, if you are listening, your husband is a good boy, very angelic person who is heading to heaven.
Nana
Okay, so back to my question.
Yeah, to the question.
Sophoca said yes. I would love to say yes and no. In a sense that, you see, music is a spirit and it's a whole energy. When there is a way within you and what you are watching is negative, it will have negative influence or energies on you. When you are watching something that is good, educational product or videos, it will not have negative effect on you. But what you are watching, if it contains certain scenes that are stronger than your spirituality and you are enjoying it, it will have influence on you. I don't want to talk about watching SS videos or movies that contain sexual explicit scenes. Yeah. People watch it and learn masturbating from there. People watch it and they learn kissing from there. You can watch a music video with tags, guys drinking and smoking, and you also feel like, yeah, you want to be like this type of guys in real life. And you know, in art, some of the things are fiction, some are non-fiction. So you don't follow everything and try to become part of everything. You learn what is good for you, most especially your spirit. That's the most important thing. This body will fade off, die, and decay, and turn into so many things. But the spirit will last longer. So anything you are watching or listening to or involving yourself into is supposed to be something good that will have positive impartation on your life. So
I don't know whether this is good or bad. I don't know the implications.
Kwame,
I don't know the meanings of. Wait, I don't know the meaning of whatever I'm watching in the movie or the sounds I'm listening to in that music. Okay, perhaps the artist went somewhere.
Watch the TV, please. Watch the TV. Reverend, can you see what they're showing?
Nana.
Yes, I
First Reverend is here.
Nana.
Very nice figure.
Nana.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me. So perhaps the artist or the management or whoever.
Can you get me anointing oil? I'm trying to not deliver.
So trying to deliver.
Oh, send me first. Stop on the whole screen. So come on.
If I don't open up, it will not get into me.
Nana.
I understand where you're going.
Nana, you'll be delivered. Let's go. Nana, let's stick to the point.
Nana, lady not back.
Nana, let's stick to the point, please.
Okay, the point. But that one too was a good point.
We'll talk about that later.
When I finish, I have friends like my Muslim brother will pray for me. Reverend will pray for me.
Yeah, you'll be delivered.
Uncle, you are not a pastor?
You'll be delivered.
I'm not. He's on the way.
At least I have a.
Okay, so Nana Dubuafo is a traditionalist and he's trying to do some encomiums, if you like. Nana, so I'm asking, the question is that the artist maybe went somewhere and then he was directed to place those figures, those symbols, signs in the music video, whatever. You, the viewer, you don't know where he went. You don't know the implications of that. Will you be possessed as the person who is watching, who is listening?
From this direct question, the answer is no.
You won't be possessed?
You see, let me tell you, with humans' energies, it's positive and negative. Okay? So, what will affect somebody here will not affect somebody. It all depends on your spirituality, your strength, and ability to watch
or your ignorance, actually.
Yes, that one very good, my brother.
That's a major role.
That's also that's a very good point. So these are the basic things that can let a video or a movie have a negative impact on you or positive one, and all depends on your mind as well.
Okay, I don't know if Reverend, if you understood my earlier question. As I asked right now, as in if the artist went somewhere to seek spiritual help and he was directed to use certain images or symbols in their music videos or in whatever creative work they have, and you are watching, observing from afar, do you get spiritually possessed? Did you understand my earlier question like that?
No, I didn't get it that way earlier.
Okay.
Earlier, you sounded like when you watch.
Yes.
Will you?
Okay.
Hence my saying.
Okay, so in this context.
Okay, in this context, when I have my house, I have gates, and the gates are closed, and you carrying your refuse in front of my house on the street, does the refuse enter my house? The fact that you passed in front of my house with your refuse does not mean it got into my house. Now, the second scenario, if the gates are open and I already have some refuse heaped up from the gates into the house, definitely, looking at the distance you have to go, you will just drop it there. So it depends on your state. Then you can be possessed.
Please explain. What do you mean by your state? Your state.
Now, I just gave you a scenario. My house is walled. My gate is closed. When you are passing with your refuse of 1 week, will you throw it across over the fence into my house? You won't. Now, the second scenario. If the gate is opened and already I have refuse heaped up from the house even to the gate, what will be the best thing to do?
You may drop it there.
You may drop. So it depends on how you are. If your gates are opened, the refuse will pass and drop itself on you. Your gates are shut does not mean they can't pass in front of your house to go dump their... It's on its way. Looking for who? The Bible says the enemy is roaring like a lion looking for who to devour. So if you look devourable, it will devour you. I'm talking to you from my perspective. The God I serve. Jesus' perspective.
So it depends on the individual. It depends on the individual.
Yes. It depends on you. If you are vulnerable, you are devourable. Because I remember a song came. I'm not going to mention the name. We saw it right now on the comments. Yes. A song came, and strangely, it was all over the place. And when you listen, Taflache, John Mokuliko Mepo Bemi. But it was all over the place. But guess what? My children will tell their friends, you will not sing this song in our house. So they know the energy that my house entertains. So you should know yourself and know that this cannot get into me.
Wow. So there are songs that can get someone possessed?
Yeah.
Yes.
Songs?
Yes.
Have you attended a rock show before?
No.
Watch it. And you see people being possessed by that spirit. And I look at it and I'm like, this. Thomas Agailo.
And Reverend, you don't think it's because they love rock?
No, loving something, you attract it, you approach it with decency.
But that's
but that's the way.
Maybe they are the way of
What
expressing
Exactly.
their appreciation of the
rock
art.
lovers have a way of expressing themselves. They are headbangers.
They are appreciating art.
I tell you, they are headbangers.
Reverend.
Them rock people. Yes.
You see, I said something, you've jumped it. My gates are locked. My house is clean. The fact that you're passing in front of my house with your garbage, or your music, your art, does not mean you should throw it overboard. You drive in traffic and people come around you with things they are selling. You pass over, then you see in Katikek and you buy. It is your choice to buy that one. You can even see 4 of them sell and you didn't buy it from any, but another person, then you buy. Okay. So it is the way your gate is. When you are opened to it, it will get into you. When you are not opened, you are shut.
Nana, before I come to you, let me go to Zoom and speak to Nana Ayeboafo. Nana Ayeboafo. Nana Ayeboafo. Hello?
Yes, I'm here, sir.
Are you there? Okay, so we're asking if just by watching an artwork that has spiritual signs and symbols, from the artist or the management, would you get possessed or would you spiritually get affected by watching or observing?
Yes, sir. If you ask me, I'll say yes. Because what we hear and what we see have some kind of influence on us. Whatever you see, whatever you hear, whatever you interact with have either positive or negative influence on your subconscious mind. But it seems as if that the discussion is based on the fact that spirituality is evil. That's what I'm saying. That if anybody, an artist,
please
goes to seek for some help.
We're not saying that though. We're not saying that. We're just looking at how it affects. Yeah. We're just looking at the effect. Yes.
Yes, sir, I understand your question. What I'm saying is the whole discussion look as if spirituality in regards to arts or music is evil. Even though no one has said that, but that's the perception. The whole point is God Almighty has given divine powers to all the way down from the
Nana, please, before Nana, excuse me, I'm not cutting you, but before you go on, let's make it clear that this is an inference you are making and not that anybody has expressly stated that here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's the fact. No one has said that, but I am saying that that's how I perceive it to be, that I see that if somebody goes to see a spiritualist to enhance or to facilitate his art, it looks as if that's evil. And I'm saying is that what I'm saying here is God Almighty has given divine powers to all the beings down him, the demigods, the archangels, the angels, the apsaras, the gandharvas, and all the other beings under God. God has given them ability and power to enhance the art of people. So for instance, if somebody is singing a gospel music and a person goes to, say, a pastor or a prophet, that please, I have this track. I want you to help me so that I will be able to become famous or popular with this track. And this pastor or prophet happens to be somebody who uses some angels to do his work of God. I don't think anybody will say that that kind of song can have any negative influence on those that listen to it or those that watch that kind of movie or whatever. But like I said before, whatever you see, whatever you hear, whatever you interact with has a tendency of having either negative or positive influence on you. But now that we come to the real question you asked, If an artist go to a spiritualist or somebody who deals with mystical things or spiritual things, and this person is able to help the artist, the power or the ability behind the music doesn't need anything from those who are listening to the music. This source of power just need only the artist. Yes, this artist is my servant. And that is the only thing that this power is looking for. Not that those that will be listening to the music will also somehow or the other come to this, spiritual source. No. So it is the artist who has gone to a source for some powers or something to enhance his or facilitate his art. So it is only this actor or artist who have something to report to the source, not those that will listen to the music or watch the movie. That is a different thing. And another point or another level is an artist goes and joins an evil occultic society. Now he himself is practicing whatever is there. So whatever music or try this person comes out with have the tendency of influencing people to do things that negative occultic society wants people to do. So it is two things we need to understand. There are some of the sources. It is only the artist in question that have some questions to answer to the source. That is, he just went there for help. Maybe they gave him some oil, some ring, something. Okay, use these things, your track will go far. Maybe every year come and give us some collection, whatever. The person does that. Those that listen to the music or that art performance will not have any negative effect on it based on the power that this kind of artist went for. But if the artist belong to an evil or occultic society, then whatever.
Hello, Nana. Hello. Okay, let me come here. Chief Mumin, you've listened to a lot of.
So I just want to respond to a few things, or make sense from my own perspective. I'm starting with Nana to just let him know that I wasn't.
Which one, Nanas? We have two Nanas here. We have Nana Ebuafo and
Nana, my colleague, spoken word artist.
Nana Ebuafo.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you placed me right. Okay.
I
will also form a committee preaching word activists.
That my opening comment in any way were not to impugn on the practice of traditional religion. In fact, if there's anything Islam teaches us, they don't speak against any other person's religion, so they don't speak against yours, or or at least your practice. So, it was that my whole premise was on the issue of belief, that fundamentally it's all about believing what you believe in that can affect you. Obviously, Nana believes that even if you don't believe in something, they can still do some. I almost said that. I'm not using it as a person, but using like onomatopoeia, like you are doing gratis. But let me also say to poya. When a word sounds like the action, Okay. And Uncle Ken, I believe that the God I worship is the God of Abraham, the God of Jesus, the God of Muhammad Rasulullah, right? So I believe, in that concept. I know that when it comes to Islam and Christianity, the position of Jesus is usually the issue of contention. But the sense I wanted to make out of all of this understanding is that, in my point, I'm not saying that Islam does not recognize the existence of things, right? Mm-hmm. For one of the things that you realize is how people mix spiritual systems together. So when Islam was coming into our system, traditional systems, people take their religion and take their traditional systems and they mix it up. So you hear this concept of malam. When you speak to a real preacher, they preach against those things. People will take Quranic verses, they write them into things. You use it to match it, and talismans, and all of those things are not, encouraged in Islam. I believe that they are spiritual laws, they are physical laws, they are scientific laws, right? Physical, if I cut myself, I'll bleed. Obviously, I know now, tell me there are some people, if you cut them, they won't bleed. Yeah, but they are physical laws. They are scientific laws, and those laws of nature, those laws of nature And those laws of the world really apply regardless of whatever system. So it is possible that people can manipulate whatever spiritual systems or spiritual laws in one advantage or the other. I'm not trying to. So I know that those things exist. In fact, sometimes when we visit in families and they tell you some of the things that our grandfathers used to do, sometimes you marvel. Like they'll tell you that my grandfather used to take a calabash and cook medicine. And cook calabash and cook medicine for people to drink. And then you'll be surprised. Sometimes they even put the calabash on fire, and all of those things. But from our belief systems, a lot of these things are discouraged because it's a slippery slope, they say. Because once you begin to, engage in all of those things, sometimes, you go through other things. It comes to a point that things that are supposed to be just laws that one has to follow, you believe that unless you go and do something spiritual, you can't succeed. But there are laws in this world that if you do this, you are consistent, you are disciplined, as Pastor said, that you work hard, chances are that you succeed. Chances are that you may not succeed. So there are probabilities about things in this life that we go through. And also another thing about is also scientific, right? When I'm watching, let's say advertisements, then in a way we say all adverts are spiritual things because adverts are supposed to make you see things and act in a particular way, right? If I'm watching, some advert on food, I begin to desire food or that particular food. So there's also that scientific part that is psychological, right? So at what point is something psychological? At what point is something spiritual? I do agree that this whole world, what you see, what you hear, influences you. In fact, that's how human beings, that's how we absorb systems. It's what you see, what you hear. So depending on what you consume, you become what you are. So if you are someone who consumes a particular culture, like the hip hop culture, so you like, how Nana is in his Nana doesn't even look like a traditional Nana. He looks like a hip hop Nana,
like a swag,
you get my point, right? So if you consume a particular kind of culture, chances are that you are going to exhibit that culture in your daily life. So if you are consuming a particular kind of media content, in fact, in media studies, some of it is even called cultivation, agenda setting theory, how do you call it, and all those. So there are also theories that you can use, psychological theories, communication theories, political theories that you can use to explain some of the things that we do when we imbibe certain media content. So yes, is media content powerful? It is powerful. If you are consistently exposed to violence, chances are that you would want to act violence. One of the criticism against especially popular culture today is how it in a way debases women, how women are objectified. So if you're a young man and you're consuming media content that treats a woman as a sexual object, then when you see a woman, what are you seeing? You're seeing a sexual object. Is this spiritual? Is this psychological? We can have that discussion. I do not disagree that there may be some spiritual mangana in the system, but ultimately for me, really, I think that it all boils down to what you give. That's why I keep using the word agency. What you give power to, what you believe in, would definitely manifest. We had an uncle. Let me end with he's called Alaji Siedu, of blessed memory. This guy had absolutely no powers. He was in a way a confident trickster. I'm a respectful one at that, right? And people who come and who had all sort of problems who come and see him, and people believe that he was a man of great powers. But when you go to all the things that he used to do, it was really using psychological things. Like one woman came to see him that the husband doesn't sleep in the house, he comes late, blah blah blah. This guy gathered all the intelligence, the data of the husband, the time he comes, he studied the guy for a while. One day he just went to costuming himself in some unhoodious clothes, went to hide somewhere in the bush. The man was coming home at night and he ran and jumped in the middle of the road. And the guy instantly was scared. He will move right, the guy moves right, he moves left, the guy moves left, until he went away and the guy ran home and never went out again, really. So my point is that people can also use your beliefs, what you believe in, to influence you. And those points of influence may be nothing spiritual. One of the major problems that people feel in our part of the world is that we give too much powers to the power. So we believe that every single thing is as a result of, someone using some spiritual things. In some part of the north, look at how women have been killed, accused of being witches. So because people believe that everything that happens to you is as a result of a particular power, we give so much agency to that and we judge people and we act based on those things. I personally believe, and there are atheists in this world, right, who don't believe even in God that we believe, who don't believe in any spiritual powers, and they are living their lives. Some of them are progressing through life. Some of them most if you go to the West today, many of them are transitioning to the point of agnostics. The churches are becoming empty in some ways, right? it isn't stopping them from making scientific advancement. If I take someone from the 14th century to come today and the person is watching television without understanding the mechanics behind it, the person will think it's actually, something spiritual or some witchcraft. So ultimately, I recognize the fact that there are powers that be. I don't discount that. Even in the Quran, they tell us about the jinns and about so many other things, But as Pastor said, if the rubbish is passing in front of your house, or if it's not even the rubbish, maybe rubbish is a derogatory term. Let's use something desirable. Trophy. We're encouraged not to eat trophy, right?
You can
right?
use Philip's tasting.
If trophy is passing in front of my house every day and I decide not to entertain it, I may not be affected by it. But if I am so obsessed by trophy, I'm sleeping trophy, I'm waking up, it's all about trophy.
You can't even pass in somewhere.
It's like I can't pass at Timpoku without buying 1,000 and shrimps. So ultimately, I believe that at the end of the day, it boils down to belief systems. Your belief is powerful. Your ignorance is powerful. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. If you're moving in this world without that spiritual eye, you come, eat, die, and you'll be ignorant of the powers that be in this world. So your belief and your ignorance will all play a vital role in how you navigate. But yes, media content can influence. But whether that influence is a result of just a psychological, thing or spiritual thing, I would err on the side of psychology.
Okay, good points made. Chief Moomin, let me move to Uncle Ken then.
Kwame.
Uncle.
I am thankful that in all my 70 years on earth, nothing has been
You are a handsome man.
Very handsome.
Thank you.
Come on.
Thank you.
7-0.
Yes.
Whoa.
I pray Philip grows like you.
I hope so too.
Philip, today you are in trouble.
He keeps calling me Numwe, so I hope he gets to my yeah.
But you're handsome.
No, but I'm saying that in all my years on earth, I am grateful that nothing has so far been able to convince me to like something I don't like.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. It's all about will.
Because I say to myself, the music I like is music I like and want. I have never on any occasion liked something that I don't like. So I'm grateful and I hope it continues for the rest of my life on this earth. Second point, I have had a couple of friends send me messages about Nana, a traditionalist.
Okay, Nana Dubuafu. Poet, spoken word artist, writer.
Spoken word artist. Yeah. And one of them sent me a message and I had to chuckle, when I read the message. He said, Uncle Ken, the gentleman, the traditionalist in your studio, is he the same person that was portrayed in the artwork Kwame Dadzie put on Facebook without a face?
Without a head.
So,
oh wow.
So
you're all having head except me.
Yes.
Oh, you made me a crap. But it's so good. I love you people.
No. But the point is, so I said, I think so because I'm not sure myself. That was a response I gave my friend. I said, I think so, but I'm not sure myself because right here in the studio, he's in a hood.
We can't make him up.
And I can't make him out too. So maybe he's the same. So he sent me another message and says, if he is, ask him why he wants to be a traditionalist and us.
Oh, no.
Nana, even before you come in, I wanted to make this point so that you add it to your point and make, Okay. And I think it, in a way, may also relate to what the second. We have another Nana, right? The other guest.
Nana Yabuafu.
Nana Yabuafu,
I bet, is he still online?
He's on.
I think that sometimes we conflate traditional religious practice to demonic practice, and that is and a popular pastor has actually even had that experience recently. That's controversial. That even over the years, we conflate traditional practice with demonic practice. So in a way, then we are saying that all our ancestors were demons, especially those of us who are now Muslims and Christians, which is not true. There were traditional practice, and systems of practice that had their own moral codes and way of life, and respecting nature and being in tune with who you are as a people. But obviously, too, there were people who could use those things to harm you, just like how people can even use, things in Islam and Christianity however they pervert it to harm you. So it's also important for us to distinguish between the practice of traditional religions, although those of us who belong to monotheistic religions believe that you can interface directly with God without having to go through an intercessor. That's the major difference, that there's a particular power that you don't have to go through any other intercessor. But it's important for us not to conflate the practice of traditional religion to the practice of evil, which has actually been the way we've conflated the two. So one of the ways that we had to use to Christianize or Islamize Africa was to say that traditional religion was evil in a way, and that people had to be converted in a way for salvation.
Chief, you've turned my question into a poem. You know.
Uncle Ken, I think Nana doesn't want his face to be out there.
No, apart from that, Uncle Ken,
let him answer it. It was a question by a regular listener of the show. And so I want Nana himself to tell us the reason why he's disguised as we sit here.
No, I was saying that because I know that he will also have something to say for what I'm saying. So he'll mix the two. Even though I have an answer to my own self. So when he finishes, I'll give him my answer.
Give Nana water to drink, please. Okay. Showbiz A to Z.
When I came, you couldn't offer me water. You didn't give me drink. When Reverend Lamte came, they brought him drink.
But you said you put your. You said
even what you
said yourself.
She served you.
You said yourself.
I
was there before.
We were off air when you appreciated them.
Okay. You see, God is spirit. We have to worship Him
in spirit
and in truth.
In truth.
Me, the message. All my poems are not about me. They are all spiritual inspiration, and my mode or method of healing people are spiritual as well. And it's not my strength, not my power, from our ancestors' energy. I don't need to show my face to plenty people to become popular. There's nothing about my face. I don't need to be carrying my face all around the platforms. My face will not solve any problem. But if the message, all the time. All the time. So I prefer to share good message out there than to show my face out there. Out there, they'll just look at the face and find other means of damaging you, destroying you, and also.
Why?
That is we are black.
That's
people.
Society in which we
live.
Yes.
When you are rising above, somebody needs to punch you and bring you down. But everything about me is spiritual, spirit life, not me, my life. That's why I'm not showing you my face. If you want to see my face, you come home, we eat together. I'll show you my face, and we smile together. But 70 years like this, wow! Jesus. You don't have a reason to pray again. Uncle, you don't have a reason to pray again.
I don't have a reason to.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you, Nana.
Why?
70 and you looking this young, strong.
We don't know Uncle Ken.
I'm praying the same prayers for my brother Philip.
Okay.
Yeah, Charlie.
All right, thank you. We have some messages right here. Let me read through. Okay, let's.
But Kwame, please, before you read your message, our greetings and blessings to Nana Yabuafo.
Nana Yabuafo,
yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, he's on. He's still on, though. So let me take this one from Elvis, formerly of the Daily Graphic. And he says, in the film industry in Hollywood, spirituality plays a very important role. That is the reason stars featuring in movie roles, particularly the females, are paid hugely for their acting roles by the terms of their contracts. However, apart from that, it is for the reason of spirituality that they are paid only $1 for any kissing role they may be compelled to do for their souls. Therefore, as one of your panelists had explained vividly, that spirituality is considered as a conduit for the soul of the man.
Yeah.
And he says, thank you, this is Elvis Aye, formerly of the Daily Graphic in Accra. Yeah. This one, Daniel from Insom says, please, Kwame, can I get the number of Nana in the studio? Nana Edu Buafu, okay? Good afternoon. In fact, spirituality is very much present in all spheres of life. Go to Makola or any other big markets and investigate how many people use good sales charms. You'd be surprised by the numbers. It's in marriage, education, job search, and all other aspects of life and living, including the arts and sports. First-hand experience. A friend had a serious police case He had no chance of coming out clean-handed, but he went and came out free. When I asked how, he told me he had to visit a native doctor to quench the issue ahead of time. He even told me the rituals he had to perform with with human waste, and then he also indicated that when he left the station, someone who was present during the hearing told him the police were confused how they let him go. Believe it, it's very real. Jerry Chichidudu Eli. Okay, hohoi. Wow. These are some
Can we use that to save our economy?
Can we use that to do what?
Makola people are using it.
Okay, before we go to our next set of questions, I think Reverend Lamptey has an assignment, so would want to take leave of us. Yes. Okay, so let me go to Reverend Lamptey and get his final words.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, he has an assignment, so he wants to take leave of us. Then we continue from.
Ibrahim.
Yes. Abraham
yes.
Lamptey.
And I'm still Abraham. Yes. I think this topic shouldn't end today because ignorant society, though Mumin said sometimes ignorance also saves, but ignorance makes you more vulnerable than any other thing on earth. I think it has to be revisited and delved deeper, not only in the arts, but spirituality regards life in general. So if you are a Christian, be a Christian. And don't be like a cock on the face of the water. If you are a Muslim, be a Muslim. And don't be like the Rubutu, the talisman, Abin de Suke Yinkulun. Don't. You see, Ona, call ye me a himing. Shikafe tamo yemlinge yi, ubemlinge tofa. So the best thing is, I can tell you on authority, having seen things, having been taken to places, having had people come to tell me, this is who I am, this is what was done, but still we couldn't touch you. I think Christ is good. And that's the blessing.
Wow.
I can tell you on authority. That's why I was telling Nana that second four different. Are you getting me? But Christ is the solid rock.
And sometimes your hometown witches protect you, Reverend.
I don't know about that because they wouldn't want me where I am.
If you get
out, you
survive. Sometimes
so I have. You see, that's why I said it has to be revisited, so that your testimony tells your spirituality.
Okay.
So we will know that Christ is a solid rock on which I stand. That's why I'm saying you must be strong where you belong. And make sure that you decide, like Uncle said, you decide what to come in and what not to come in. That's all I'll say. I think this topic needs more time than
Sure, we will
now.
do that. We will do that.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you very
Yes,
much, Reverend Abraham Lamptey,
Thank you
the
very
General
much, sir.
Overseer of the Believers House of Worship International. It's been great having you this afternoon here on Showbiz A to Z on Joy 99.7 FM. And today we're talking about the spirituality and arts, the role of spirituality in the arts. And we've done a lot of talk so far, but we're still on. You can join us on phone now. Just hit the phone lines now and then be part of this one. 030-2216-541. 030-2216-541. Or you can still send your messages to the WhatsApp line 055-1111-997. 055-1111-997. Still here on Showbiz A to Z, your most authoritative entertainment talk show on radio. My name is Kwame Dadzie. But now let's go on Zoom and speak to Nana Ayebuafo Jinana, and he's still on with us. Let's speak to him now. Nana. And speak to Nana Ayebuafo Jinana, and he's still on with us. Let's speak to him now. Nana, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Please, I can hear you.
Okay, so there's a question I want to ask. Is it possible for an artist to have their works blow or to achieve success with their works without any spiritual help whatsoever?
Yeah, it's true. It's possible that somebody can blow without any spiritual machinations. And that means that a person must still use effort and grace. Effort and grace. These two things, you need it wherever you are, whatever you want to do. If you want to become successful, you need effort and grace. So the effort is your own, effort, your own endeavor. And the grace is always something that you need from a different source. For instance, someone might advise you and give you some directives, give some guidance, and based on that, you'll be able to be successful. And some people will choose to say, let me go to the church, go and seek some prayer from the pastor or the prophet. That works. But like I was saying before I went off, mysticism is everywhere, not only in the art. You go to the market, you go to school, you go to the army, you go to the hospital, wherever it is, mysticism is there. So it is not only in the arts. I've seen a lot of people going to the hospital and the doctors will try everything. They won't be able to detect any ailment in the system. But this person is still suffering. This person goes to some herbalist or some traditionalist or somebody who knows mysticism, and something little is given and the person is okay. So what I'm trying to say is that mysticism is everywhere. So yes, people can influence their art based on mysticism or what you call spirituality. Likewise, people can even sabotage some artists. There are some artists, if you share the same stage with them and they play before you just after that incident, that will be your end. There are some artists like that. The energy following them is so superior that they will be the last artist to perform on the stage.
Really?
So if you mistakenly go after them, that will be the end of your career. I know what I'm talking about. See, mysticism is something everybody must learn. We must avail ourselves to learn. Like the pastor said, the reverend said that life is a mystery. And this mystery, all of us must try as much as possible to find these mysteries of life. Because without it, we will commit so many mistakes. So yes, people can facilitate their art based on some mystical energy. Likewise, people can be sabotaged based on some mystical energies used against them. These are real things. And we don't just speak. It is something we know. Okay? It is something we do know that they exist. Some people might say, oh no, this is not there because they don't have any experience of them. So that is okay. But it is possible for people to influence their art with some kind of mystical energy. It happens every now and then. On the field, footballers, they do that. Musicians, they do it. Doctors, teachers, everywhere you go, you see mystical things there. It is only in Africa. If you even go to abroad, trust me, the whites, they believe in mysticism more than even with the blacks. Have you been to Germany before, Berlin? There's a wall there. And I went there some time ago. I saw more than 1 million padlocks in Berlin, Germany. I'm sure maybe you've been there and probably you've seen it. So many padlocks. So I asked them why. They said people come here to padlock their marriage. I was there when I saw whites.
They padlock their marriage?
Oh, yes. I mean, as we are speaking, those are watching us from Germany. They can even write it down here. White people go there to padlock their marriage. A white man and a white woman, not that blacks. It's in Germany. I mean, maybe some of your panel members have been there.
So that they will not get separated?
Whatever belief they have, that they go there. I'm just trying to say that the whites believe in spirituality or mysticism more than us. But at times, because for us, everything is spirituality. If somebody is sick with headache, it's spirituality. The white man is not like that. They are very balanced, whatever they do. They believe in mysticism, they believe in reality, so they combine all these things together and they become successful. But for us, everything is mysticism. Somebody is not well in the household, it's witches, it's wizards. Yes, it's possible maybe some witchcraft is causing that, or maybe it's an ordinary ailment. So we just have to balance these two things and we live our life. So the answer to your question is, people can influence their acts to become successful with some kind of spiritual or metaphysical manipulation. This is the real thing. It's something that exists. Nobody should challenge it. It's there. It is happening now. Every now and then, it's happening. And like I said, there are some artists, you share the same stage with them. Just as soon as they are done performing, if you like, don't go. Before you perform after them, that will be the end of your career. That is if you don't have any strong energy following you. So these are things that, we experience them every now and then. These are realities. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Nana Ayeboafo Janana. Let me come to Nana Ayeboafo Jr. now. So, Nana Ayeboafo says something about the fact that there are artists that when they mount the stage to perform before you and you come next, you can be affected. You may flop, but your career would do what?
Even die before you. It's true. What he said is true. Nana Ayeboafo Pia Unkwaso. Tenaseche. Na tena wakonya so ne di heneche. Na osi ase ntimu nkyene na osoro ne asase nyankopon hwe so abosomo ne nsuo ne moti aka nyina mo ho ba maye pia onana nokre nipa se ye kwade efo kra sense obebo nipa.
Yes, okay. Please speak English for us.
Uncle Ken, I can translate.
Uncle Ken, since you are disturbing me here, I can also promise you that when I get home, I will also disturb you.
I'm enjoying the richness of the tree. So you say the tree, I'll say the English.
This is a threat to you. Are threatening him.
Oh, 70 years.
Nana, you are threatening me.
70 years. When you
Nana, you are threatening me.
70 years. Nyanko point shall we be? Okay, someone said, "Choka to Nyame frame." Na menko, but still, that's only years. Uncle Ken.
Yes, Nana.
Nana, please, to the point, please.
Me bra penny. Nana Ayeboafo for Kaya. Most you see, music is an art.
Yes.
And it's spiritual as well.
Yeah.
And you need to be spiritual to perform it. If you are just performer without the spiritual side, anybody with spiritual energies will have effect on you. Sometimes it can be positive, or sometimes it can be negative. Positive in a sense that you can meet a fellow musician who will just put your music or share your link on his page, and you blow from there. You have no idea where he has been to, what he has swallowed to get that kind of influence to promote you. And there are some too, they have this hateful energy. They hate competition. They don't want people to go above them. They always want to be the top. They always want to be in the news. They always want to be mentioned and seen. Such people, when you joke small, you want to compete with them in beef songs, you will try it. First, second, your career will die off.
Good, the beef thing. So you hear this artist, that artist, beefing.
Oh, our people, they are doing it for fun. They are doing it for coin.
It doesn't get spiritual?
Oh, no. They are doing it for fun. Yeah. No, our Ghana, no. You are Ghana musicians, they are grown moody. Beef, no more fun is serious. We are because of beef. That thing is in other countries like Nigeria and those stuff. You see, our people are good, our artists are very good. They are not dangerous, they are not violent. They are just struggling to get to the top there. Just that industry is not having legs. How can you host them? Okay. And when it comes to spirituality, I'm not sure the industry can organize spiritual awards for any of them. It's individual things. All of them are taking their own path, and they all want to be successful. There's nothing wrong with going to a spiritualist, going to Nana Ayeboafo for a spiritual consultation about your career path and also your lifestyle. Is good. But my few advices, don't go to any spiritual center in the name of destroying somebody for you to be better. Kama will not agree to it.
Nice. But why do the priest also do it?
Okay, the priest also do it because I'm answering you. The priest will do it simply because they are devotees and they are just workers or messengers.
Okay.
Your friend can be a police and still arrest you. Master Semega.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So the priest will do it simply because they are messengers and they are workers.
Okay.
And the gods, some of the gods are good and some of the gods are bad. That's positive and negative. And don't even forget that the same God who said, "Let there be light." After the light, he created moon again to give us darkness. You get it? So it's 50-50 thing.
Okay.
There are people who have talent. They don't have any spiritual backing. They are traveling with grace of God. Wherever the fool will end them, they stop there. And there are some too, they know they don't have any help. If they don't go spiritual with it, nobody will help them. And me as a spiritualist, as long as you are not killing anybody, you are not using part of your own body or part of somebody or using somebody's star or destiny to be successful, I don't have a problem.
But Kwame,
Uncle Ken.
Kwame, 1 second. Nana.
Uncle Ken, me again.
Nana actually threatened me. And I want him to be reminded, he's just said that he does not subscribe to using his powers to offend anybody.
Or to destroy others.
Yes, but he threatened me.
Oh.
And I like to refer him to Section 74 of the
So you were looking that up?
Yeah, I was looking that up. Section 74 of the Criminal and Other Offences Act 1960, Act 29.
Before you finish,
and it says, whoever threatens any other person with unlawful harm, with intent to put that person in fear or unlawful harm, shall be guilty of a misdemeanor. So, Nana
do waffle.
Uncle Ken.
Yes, sir.
Kindly, this is fruit juice.
Nana do waffle, but you didn't tell me you were a comedian. I would have added that to your profile.
No,
spirituality
before
is
you
everything.
even answer me.
Spirituality is everything. Spirituality is science. Spirituality is poems. Spirituality is grammar.
Uncle,
spirituality is music.
Please,
Papa way. Yeah.
Before you even answer me, let me say this, Kwame.
Yeah.
I have totally enjoyed today's conversation, and I have to say that the conversation took place harmoniously.
Doesn't take juice, so we come with our tea.
Harmoniously
because of sugar.
And,
Nana, please, we will serve you. Don't worry,
Nana,
we'll serve
don't
you.
worry, we'll serve you.
Our producer will serve you.
No, he's actually serving.
He's serving.
I'm rather serving,
Everybody
uncle. I want him to bless.
He's turning serious into wine.
Their point of view without offending the other. And I think we have achieved something today.
Good.
We've learnt a lot from the different...
Being tolerant of each other's views.
And there hasn't been any intolerance at all. And condolences to everybody here this evening for conducting themselves...
Did you say condolences?
Hey! Please forgive me. You know, you see the Labari man, he has gone to ring a bell on me.
He's
It's
doing
just because
spiritual thing here.
I've been at funerals all the time, so sorry. Congratulations to everybody here for comporting themselves in this manner.
I blame Nana for this.
And Kwame, like Nana said,
yes,
the conversation should not end here.
Good. You have a second part of this.
I think we should, because this time round, we need to also hear from the musicians,
Good.
the actors,
Good.
themselves, and all other people involved in this matter.
All right. Thank you, Ken Addy. Uncle Ken Addy, yes. Uncle Ken Addy, thank you very much. Now, you can call us right now, 030-2216-541. 030-2216-541. And then also, you can send your message right now to WhatsApp line 055-1111-997. And Nana Dubuafo is not just a traditionalist. He is a spoken word artist. He is a writer, a chief, a comedian, and a musician. You doubt it? Take a listen.
A seminar. Say. Nim wiase ahyase te me Kwame Adu ntimi nka wiase wieye na emom sa asɛm ne sɛ ada sɛ bia mfa ɔdɔ ntena sɛ
The title is
Asemino.
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 Yes. In the beginning was the Word.
Uh-huh.
And the Word was with God.
Wow.
And the Word was God. And you know, the call of God is not to judge people. The call of God is to love people. So if you have God in your heart, you don't have to be judging people. You need to be showing that love of God in your heart with people.
Wow. Yeah. All right. So that was spoken word by Nana Dubuafu Jr., traditionalist, a writer, a spoken word artist, and a chief. I want to add comedian to it. All right, so the Hits FM Rep Your Jersey 2023 is ongoing right now at the Aviation Social Center. So if you're not there as of now, just rush the place. Let me also remind you that Cues and Lyrics still on. Gradually we get into the finals. And this is a competition that aims at unearthing music potential and contestants on Joy Prime TV. Don't miss out on the experience every Sunday at 8:30 p.m. and on Joy Prime. Cues and Lyrics is produced by Joy Prime and powered by Hits FM. Yes, Cues and Lyrics, bring on the music. Joy Prime, the ultimate experience. Now, have you ever wondered how to subscribe to a particular MTN service and how to view, add, or cancel your mobile subscription all from one place? Just dial star 175 hash to access all and manage all your subscriptions everywhere you go. Still on Joy 99.7 FM Showbiz A to Z. And we've been talking about the role of spirituality in the arts. So far, so insightful. Now, Nana Edu Boafo. So we've spoken about spirituality in the arts and everything, all the symbols, all the signs, the work of artists and all that. But even before I come to you, let's pick some of our listeners on the line now.
Hey.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Please, your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, I'm Nana.
You are Nana?
Nana.
Okay. Nana, please, let's hear you.
Yes, I'm good at preaching today. I've really enjoyed the conversation. And Nana in the studio, he gives me the vibe of Kwame Rasta, honestly. Well, I'm a fan. He's straight of voice and all.
Hey, Kwame Rasta?
Yes. He gives me the vibe of Kwame Rasta. You are not paying attention to him, eh?
Yeah, the comment.
Straight of voice and all. Anyway, Reverend made a comment that I wish he was there, so I'll ask him this. He said God will not place you where you don't belong. That's in the I beg to differ because our current president there, he doesn't belong where he is, but he's there right now.
Please don't do politics with this show. We don't entertain that on this show. We are talking strictly showbiz and spirituality. We don't want any political undertones to this one. Thank you very much. So you can also call us right now 030 2216541 03022165541. Please keep your submission clean as possible. Do that for us and stick to the topic for discussion today. Let me take Nana Eduboafo Jr.'s final words. Nana?
Yes, sir.
Yes, so gradually we're coming to the end of the show. What do you have to say? Tell our friends out there, showbiz people, the creatives out there who are listening right now.
My words are few, and my words are just lines of prayer. My final words are that the barren women we have in our society will give birth.
Okay.
My final words is that the God Almighty and all other gods, those visible and those invisible ones, will help all of us to prosper so we don't grow to envy each other and kill each other. May it be where we fast in the morning, may it be where we fast in the afternoon, maybe where we fast in the evening, even in the midnight. My greetings to Champion Mansule, who sponsored my drip here because I'm coming to Joy FM.
Champion Mansule, wow.
Yeah, Spinters. He's the CEO of the Kwajo's Collections.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. I told them Joy FM is my BBC, so I'm going to BBC. So they really dress me. They turned the whole chief and traditionally
to a hip hop artist.
I'm a hip hop artist. I can't say microphone, I'm a rapper. My blessings to all my brothers I share the same chair with.
Yeah.
May the Spirit of God grant us good chair so that we can have better place to be in this life. My greetings to all the people in my community, the OEB Police Commander, and happy birthday to my junior brother Kwame Dadzie.
Oh, okay.
I came with him. Yeah, I'm coming to BBC, so I brought him.
Oh,
yeah, I brought my Joy FM. So.
Nice.
So happy birthday to you. And my greetings to my Facebook friends and followers and readers. Most especially the stubborn boys at the back. Their headmaster is Sammy Flex. My greetings to all of them.
Sammy Flex.
And thank you, Joy FM, for inviting me. Because of this invitation, a lot of people sent me money.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You had money from this?
Oh, yes. Wait.
So why are you keeping the money then?
Because it's my money.
Because it's not for you.
Please don't do that. I have snap and egg in my car. So they sent me, my brother, look at this for me.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Nana Dubuafo. Let me go to. Let me go to.
357. So okay. Thank everybody.
We thank them. We thank them so much. Let me go to Nana Ayeboafo Janana, who is a spiritual analyst, to take his final words. Nana Ayeboafo. Janana, who is a spiritual analyst, to take his final words. Nana.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Please, your final words.
Yeah, my final words. First, I would like to appreciate you for inviting me. And I would like to say that life is full of mysteries. We just need to find out these mysteries. Everything has some kind of mystical connotation to it. We just have to avail ourselves to learn, to study. There are spirits everywhere around us. God Almighty is there. There are uncountable spirits, both seen and unseen. We must learn. Before the white man came to Africa, our ancestors knew God. They knew him. They worshipped him. They knew his ways. They were able to please him. These spirits are still around. We just have to avail ourselves to learn. And like Nana in the studio said, we should try to love everybody. We should try to forgive those offenders. Love is the most powerful way. That if you have love, we have come to the conclusion of the world, because love surpasses everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Nana Ayeboafo Janana. Now let me take Uncle Ken's final remarks, and then I go to Chief Moment as well.
So much tolerance for each other's views. And thank you to all the gentlemen who came to educate me today on so many issues that had been bothering my mind. I still hope that the country will continue to live in peace amongst all spiritual realms, so we can progress. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Uncle Ken. Chief Mume.
Yes, as we say, no crack say.
But at a point in time, it felt or it appeared as though you were one of the resource persons, because you were speaking from
you see, unfortunately, you hadn't thought about it.
Quite an informed
you hadn't
Islamic
thought about
position. At a point in
add
time,
into the artwork.
No, he represented the Islamic faith.
He represented the Islamic faith.
I tell you, man. I tell you.
One of the
he was the man we were looking for, Philip.
Oh no, I was given a very, ordinary position. One of the
no, it wasn't ordinary.
In Islam is al-Jabbar, meaning the enforcer.
Okay,
and if you go into the philosophy of that, it's really about what God enforces in the universe to happen. The sun will rise and set, things will happen, but all of those come down to laws. So God has essentially coded the universe So it's a code that works, and that controls how things move. So when you have a saw, there's a complicated process through which that saw would heal, right? So for me, ultimately, my takeaway from this conversation has been how I started. Is our belief systems. Whatever your belief systems is, make sure that you are grounded in those systems. And I mean, let's also be mindful how we use our faith, and let's understand what is spiritual, what is scientific, what is laws, even though at the end of the day they all intermingle, because the spirit resides in the body and the body is transient, but the spirits would everlast, beyond this world. But ultimately too, I also want to add my voice to the respect, the diversity of opinions,
exactly,
which is really important. I mean, at another day we can have a deeper angle to this conversation, as I was having with Black Rasta a couple of days ago.
Oh, nice.
But ultimately, for the artists out there, because at the end of the day, this is what we began. Focus on your work. If you're a Christian, you pray to your God. If you're a Muslim, you pray to your God. If you believe in traditional religion, you pray to your ancestors, and to the gods of the land. But do not try to use your power to subvert, other people's blessings, or to use it in a negative way in any form, to think that you can use shortcuts to riches, shortcut to successes. Those things will never, are not sustainable. I believe that if you do the work, and you put in the time and you work and the quality is good, whatever success that is due you may end up getting those success stories. So at the end of the day, there's no shortcuts to success, really.
Thank you, Chief Moomin. All right. A very big thank you to you, Chief Moomin, to Reverend Abraham Lamte, General Overseer of the Believers House of Worship International. And let's say thank you to Nana Adubuafo Jr., a traditionalist, spoken word artist and writer, and then spiritual analyst Nana Ayabuafo Jenana. And today we actually looked at the role of spirituality in arts. Big thank you to you, my producer Philip Nye, to you, Anita Tai, for the assistance, and Oliver Fagnan for social media support. My name is Kwame Dadzie. Also, a big thank you to our sponsors, MTN Everywhere You Go and Superstar Multi-Fruit Drink. We're back same time next week, right here on Joy 99.7 FM. Showbiz A to Z. My name is Kwame Dadzie. Bye-bye.